Hi, this is Amanda. Today we're going to be learning some basics in Photoshop just to get you started. So before we begin, I'm going to go ahead and open up Photoshop here. We're going to take a quick look at the general environment for this application. One of the things that's really wonderful about the Adobe applications is that they generally are set up pretty similarly, with the exception of Dreamweaver. The construction of that one's just a little bit different. Anyway, they all do have a palette of tools on the left-hand side, which you can see over here. And again, you're going to run into some consistencies with this, with Flash and some of the After Effects tools palettes that we'll be covering this semester. Some of the other areas you're going to take a look at are layers. Layers are really important in Photoshop, which you'll learn. The History palette, again, that's another important area because it's a quick, easy undo space, which we'll take a look at and use that here in just a minute. And then, of course, I've got the character and paragraph windows open right now because if you want to do any typography, that's a really wonderful window just to have open for easy access. Let's go ahead and get started so we can learn how to use some of these tools and the layers by creating a new image. So I'm going to go up to the top and say File, New, and then we're going to have some decisions to make. One of the things we definitely want to consider, which you can learn more in your course materials, is something about color mode. You're going to see right here the defaults that I have set. Our resolution is 72 pixels per inch. Remember, we're dealing with computers, and so that's all pixel-based. So that's 72 pixels per inch, which is the resolution of a computer monitor. The color mode is RGB color. RGB color is the color of light, and since this is a projected screen on the monitor, then we're going to be dealing with colored light if we're designing something that's going to be on a computer or used on a computer. If you're going to be designing for print, you would want to go down here and choose CMYK. That's cyan, magenta, yellow, and the K stands for black. So when we get into some print work, we can cover that as well, but again, there's more information about this on your course website. The pixels per inch, this is where you specify the width in pixels and the height in pixels. Now, if you want to deal with inches, we're designing right now, I'm going to put together a piece that's designed for the web, so I'm going to work in pixels. But if I'm dealing in print, I may prefer to work in inches, which is something that I can really think about. An 8.5 by 11 flyer, for instance, that would be a piece of paper. So you might prefer to do it a little bit differently. Background is another choice. You might choose to have a transparent background. In this case, I have a white background selected, but again, that depends on what you're trying to produce. All right, so I'm going to say OK. And the very next thing I want to do is save my document, because if I'm going to start doing a lot of work, I don't want to lose that work. So it's very important to make sure you save your files in a digital imaging course. So I'm going to say Save As, and I'm going to navigate to my desktop. And on my desktop, as you should have downloaded off of the course website, is the Photoshop 1 folder. Inside this folder, you can see I've got butterfly.jpg and fire.jpg. So I'm going to put my composition image right here. And it's going to say composition.psd. And PSD is the Photoshop designation. So you can save it as many, many different things. But we're going to save it as Photoshop. And one of the big reasons we're doing that is because obviously we're working in Photoshop, so that's sort of the default standard you want to do. It's going to give you all the bells and whistles that this application has. But it also primarily, along with just the select few, it allows you to work with multiple layers because Photoshop is a layered document tool. So I'll say Save, and now I have my document.